And from the perspective of the United States,
at the U.S.-Africa Leaders Summit in December 2022, the United States government renewed its commitment to expanding partnerships with African countries, institutions, and people.
The administration committed itself to continuing to support programs like PEPFAR. There is also commitment to continue the work of Power Africa, which is designed to provide assistance in bringing electricity to some 600 million Africans who are not serviced by electrical power these days. There is also a recommitment to supporting Feed the Future.
Other commitments include establishment of a Diaspora Engagement Council, working with Africa to solve its infrastructure needs, digital transformation, security, and democracy. Without security for African countries and their citizens, though, none of these commitments are possible. Uganda is at the heart of the restive Great Lakes region, and over the years, the U.S. has enhanced Uganda's military capacity to improve its resistance to transnational threats and enhance regional stability and security, as has been seen in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, South Sudan, Burundi, and Somalia. However, back home in the 2022 Uganda Human Rights Commission report on the state of human rights and freedoms in Uganda, the Uganda People's Defense Forces, or UPDF, ranked third in violating human rights and freedoms, just behind the Uganda Police Force. NTV asked Molly P., the Assistant Secretary of State for African Affairs, about the U.S. government owning up to the fact that their military support to Uganda might have undermined the country's democratic process.
I want to reassure you that we have both laws and policies that restrict our engagement with a country's security forces if we have reason to believe that the security forces engage in practices that hurt civilians. And we have also recently restricted our engagement with the UPDF because of our concerns about how the security forces have engaged with respect to internal divisions. We share your concern that when you close down political space, it does often drive those who are excluded to make poor decisions.
In recent years, the main challenge to the U.S.-Africa relations has been the rise of China's influence on the continent. However, Judd Devermont, the Senior Director of African Affairs at the National Security Council, says the U.S. will continue with its engagements in Africa, irrespective of what China does.
At the same time, just like in every other place in the world, we will raise questions and concerns that we have about Chinese engagement on the continent if our view is that it may undercut African sovereignty or create conditions that are not advantageous to African workers or industries or governments, or that threaten our national security interests. We do that everywhere in the world. We would do it in Africa.
There is growing consensus that Africa should become an investment player on the global scene instead of just a charity case.
There is a strong commitment in the U.S. government to support business and commercial development between Africa and the U.S. and between the U.S. and Africa.
And to ensure this, the U.S. government is supporting a permanent seat for Africa on the UN Security Council. Julian Nantume, NTV in Washington, D.C.